Hey guys, it's August here and welcome to a random video outside of the make. The Game of the Year awards are coming up on the 3rd of December, and I just figured I'd run through the nominations and say what I think of them, if I like them, if I dislike them, if they're missing anything, which they totally are. Like, where's Crypt the Necro Dancer? Come on guys. And yeah, I thought it might be interesting to do. I haven't done some of this before. So if you guys want to say your thoughts down below, if the games that you like are here or not, then go ahead. And of course, these are my opinions. If you disagree with me, then go make a video about it. Anyway, to start off, this year is heavily focused on AAA games. Like, there's a category here for indie games, but what? Like, these aren't good enough to be Game of the Year? And like, what else? There's like Her Story there, there's Ori there, there's like Ori there too, Her Story, Undertale, it's like just those 3 games. Other than that, there's like tons of AAA games here, even the ones, you know, that probably shouldn't be here. Like, why is Arkham Knight here? Arkham Knight is really... that is a terrible release. Like Halo 5, a pretty mediocre release. Like, I don't know. I feel like the guys who chose these didn't want to hurt the feelings of the AAA industry. Anyway, let's go up to the top. And start with Game of the Year, we have Bloodborne, Fallout 4, MGS5, Super Mario Maker, and The Witcher 3. Now, I've experienced with 2 of these games, which are Fallout 4 and MGS5, and honestly, I don't think either of those are going to win. Fallout 4 is like a simplified version of Fallout 3, and MGS5 has a lot of story problems. Like, fantastic gameplay and just looks great and runs great, but a lot of problems in the story, which is basically what MGS is known for. Other than that, we have Bloodborne, Super Mario Maker, and The Witcher 3. I feel like Super Mario Maker is probably a bit too niche to win the award. Like, it only really is targeted towards the crowd that likes creating their own content and playing other people's content. A lot of people, like me for example, like just straight up stories that are in the game, and that game doesn't have any of that. It's all just user-created stuff. As for the other 2, it's close, but I'd probably give it to The Witcher 3, just because, like Super Mario Maker, I think Bloodborne's a bit too niche. You have to be into really difficult action, sort of, games like that. While The Witcher 3, I think a lot of people liked, because it's, like, really long, it's got great, graphics and shit. Let's open it up. It's got nice characters, it looks fantastic. Like, look at this, it's just damn awesome. It's a really good fantasy settings. Fantasy settings always look really good, like Skyrim's great as well. So yeah, I think that Witcher 3 is going to win this one. Developer of the Year, these are simply the developers behind these games. It's probably going to be the developer that's behind the Game of the Year that's going to win, I reckon. So if The Witcher 3 wins it, then CD Projekt Red will get it. However, I could also see this going to Nintendo, because Nintendo are just more than Super Mario Maker. Like, they've done tons and tons of other shit. On the other hand, you have guys like Bethesda, which had like that modding controversy earlier this year that everyone was really pissed about, so I don't think it's going to be them. And Kojima and From Software haven't really done anything of note besides these games. So I think it's either going to be CD Projekt Red or Nintendo. Probably Nintendo. Alright, best independent game, we have Axiom Verge, Her Story, Ori and the Blind Forest, Rocket League, and Undertale. Undertale. I love Undertale, it's my game of the year anyway, but it's going to win this. It has had too much universal praise not to win it. Possibly Rocket League, because I know people love Rocket League, it's not my thing. And maybe Ori and the Blind Forest, because that game just looks fucking fantastic. Like, I'll show you guys. Like, just look at this, it looks great. It is really fun gameplay too. I don't think Her Story or Axiom Verge is going to get it. Her Story is a very interesting game. I'll talk more about that later on because it comes up again. But Axiom Verge is like a really fun Metroid-esque sort of game. If you guys like the Metroid genre, then try this out because it is really fun. But unfortunately, I don't think it's as good as the other games on the list. Best mobile handheld game! Oh god. What happened this year? Like, seriously? Like, what? Thinking about it, what was my best handheld game this year? Probably like Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker? Thinking about it, there weren't that many big releases this year for handheld. Weird. I think, no wait, no, ignore me. I was going to say I think Danganronpa 2 came out this year, but no, I played it this year. Anyway, it's probably got to be Monster Hunter. I don't give a shit about Monster Hunter. I have it on Wii U and I don't like it, but it's probably going to be that just because how much everyone else likes it. Look at these other choices like Downwell. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's made by Devolver Digital. Really? What is it? Let's have a look. Those guys do some other games which I can't think of at the moment, but it's pretty nice stuff. Aren't Devolver Digital like the Hotline Miami guys? Oh, it's a Steam game. Weird. That looks really interesting, like, I don't really know what that is. Devolver Digital. Yeah, Hotline Miami, I thought so. And the Talos Principle too, nice. Oh, these guys must be like a publisher. Are they? Yeah, publisher, okay. Not a developer. There's Lara Croft Go. I have no idea what that is. Is that like a racing game with Lara Croft in cars? Please tell me it is. Oh, it's like a puzzle game. Tons of positive reviews on Steam, but still. Monster Hunter, come on. Best narrative. Now this is actually pretty tough in my opinion, because all of these are fairly good narratives. We have Her Story, Life is Strange, Tales from the Borderlands, Witcher 3, and Until Dawn. Now, I feel like Life is Strange and Until Dawn won't win this because they are very typical of their genres. Like, Life is Strange is a very typical time-traveling story, and Until Dawn is a very typical slash movie thing. As for the other ones, it's probably not going to be Her Story. Like, Her Story is a really cool narrative. Basically, the game's about you in a police station looking at these old archives. And, wait, where is it? Give it there for a second. Sorry. And you have to like go through them and find out like the details of this crime. You can look up different keywords and watch different videos, and it's a really, really neat concept that I don't think it's ever been done before. But because of the aspect of it where you just like look up random words and get random videos, I feel like the narrative is a bit too disjointed. So that is probably not going to win the award. As for these two, I had an absolute ton of fun with this game. It was really, really good. And unfortunately, I can't really rate The Witcher 3 because I haven't played it before. The narrative in Witcher 2 is pretty good, although it was quite a short game. So, I'm not really sure. I'm going to give it to Tales from the Borderlands, but I can see Witcher 3 also getting it. Best Art Direction. This is a weird category because these three games are all very, like, dark and gritty and realistic games. They're not really, like, Best Art Direction. I think there should be two categories here. One which is like best graphically impressive art or something. And the other one's like best aesthetic, which should have these in it. So I don't know, these are weird choices to me. I really, really doubt it's going to be either of those two because they are just very typical dark and gritty things. MGS5 possibly could get it because MGS5, let's look it up, has a lot of really cool like holographic shit. And it looks very slick and very nice and stuff. Yeah, like it just looks really impressive. So that might get it. But to be fair, it's probably going to be Ori and the Blind Forest because that game is just fucking gorgeous. Let's open this back up again. Like, yeah, this game just looks fantastic. But saying that, it could possibly be The Witcher 3 just because of the whole fantasy setting and the fact that it looks great. But I think this just looks too impressive not to get the award. So yeah, this should definitely get it. Not League, go away. Best performance, we have Ashley Birch as Chloe Price, the chick as Lara Croft, Geralt, the Joker, and Viva Seifert from Her Story. It's probably not going to be the guy who does Geralt. Just because he does have a very like monotonous and normal voice and just kind of reads off his lines like this. Which definitely suits the character, like that's exactly what Geralt is meant to be like. But it doesn't make him that interesting to listen to. Likewise, it's probably not going to be Lara Croft because she's very like typical action hero lady, like that's really about it. Mark Hamill always does a great job as a Joker, but the Joker's been around for so long that I think people are getting kind of bored of him. And besides, I don't think he had too major of a part in Arkham Knight either. So it's probably not going to be him. As for Chloe Price and Viva Seifert, This is really tough, in my opinion. Chloe Price, I think, carried a lot of people through Life is Strange, at least in the beginning, because Max, the main protagonist, is really dull. And yet there was Chloe there who's like, yeah, I'm a partying teenager, I love partying shit. And people basically could play long enough because Chloe was there to get to the point where they were fine with Max. And then they could play with Max afterwards. So, I think Chloe helped a lot of people get through Life is Strange. As for V for Cyphered, this woman is basically the entire thing of her story. As I mentioned, you're watching video archives in a police station, and if this woman sucked, then the game would be awful, because every single video in this has her in it acting. So I feel like V for Cyphered should get the award just because if she sucked, then the game would suck. And obviously people love it because there's really good positive reviews. Great Metacritic score too, tons of awards. So yeah, I feel like V for Cyphered should get it. Games for Change. This is a very interesting category because I don't really know what it is. I think it's like games that push the boundary of what games are, tackle a lot of social issues and shit. So, first of all, not going to be Life is Strange. That was a very typical time traveling thing. The most kind of games for change thing it did was like going back in time to change your actions, and you can kiss Chloe at one point. That's really about it. It's probably not going to be Sunset. A walking simulator, casual adventure. I think you're like watching the city outside burn from your apartment or something. At least that's what I think from these screenshots. And it is fairly mediocre reviews, so I don't think it'll be that. It might be Sybil, because Sybil looks like an interesting sort of game where you're talking to a guy online through a messenger. And, oh my god, it looks kind of like Luca actually. It looks interesting. I don't really know if it'll win it though. But, once again, better reviews, mostly positive user reviews. And yeah, I don't really know if it will win. We'll have to see. Probably not though. As for Her Story and Undertale, both of these games are really, really good for this, I think. Her Story was something that I don't think has ever been done before. Typing in words to different recordings, trying to figure out the crime from that. The closest thing to that is like, oh, I should close Steam, whoops. The closest thing to that is like, Night Trap or something on the Genesis. As for Undertale, that was basically like a huge satire of the RPG genre. It was really funny, really clever. It also tackled some social issues like guys and girls with girls, but to be fair, it kind of just had them in the game and everyone was okay with it. It wasn't really tackling the issue. But the rest of it I thought would really, really fit this category. So it's probably gonna be Undertale, but that could also be my bias coming in because I love Undertale. Could also easily be Her Story. One of these two, I think. Best Shooter. Oh god, guys. Guys. What happened to shooters this year? What? We have Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which sucked on release. We have Destiny, which is Destiny. We have Halo 5, which I heard is fairly mediocre. And we have Battlefront, which had fairly mediocre reviews on release. Like, wow, shooters this year were really bad. The only one that people seem to love is Splatoon. So I think it's going to get the award here. It's very refreshing. It's something that Nintendo hasn't really done before. And great, gameplay, great aesthetic, great music. So I'm pretty sure Splatoon will get this award. Wait a second. Oh, I missed this. How can I miss this? Ah, I thought I did. As I mentioned before, where the hell is Crypt of the Necrodancer? That game has the best OST out of any game this year. I honestly have no idea how they could omit it. Like, what? Really? Along with that, they also have Fallout 4 and MGS5 here, which shouldn't be here, because the majority of their soundtracks made up by old-time music which the developers themselves didn't make. So it feels kind of cheap having them here. It would be like having a Rock Band game here, and like cut to people saying that there was one in the past, but I don't think that should be there either. Like, sure, the Fallout 4 main theme is cool, And MGS5 has some nice music, but the majority is just old-timey music, so it feels kind of weird to have these here. Like, these should honestly be Crypt the Necrodancer, which would win, and probably Undertale. Undertale is a fantastic soundtrack too. As for the others, haven't played, have no idea. Haven't played, have no idea. But I have played Ori and the Blind Forest, which had a really nice soundtrack that fit the game. Very chill, very calming, really nice overall. So it's probably going to be that or The Witcher 3 in my opinion, one of those two. Best action adventure game. We have Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Arkham Knight, Metal Gear Solid, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Rise of the Tomb Raider. This category is actually pretty tough because a lot of these have very good action adventure stuff. It's probably not going to be Arkham Knight because Arkham Knight had a really shit release. Like, sure, it is polished action adventure stuff from 4 games, but still. I don't think it'll be that. MGS5 could win this just because if we're focusing just on action adventure, MGS5 had really, really great gameplay. The gameplay was excellent. So I could possibly see that winning. Ori as well had a really fun gameplay. Rise of the Tomb Raider I haven't played, but I have played the 2013 one, and that one had a really fun gameplay too. Assassin's Creed Syndicate probably won't win because people are still kind of upset about Unity. So yeah. I think it'll be one of these 3. Rise of the Tomb Raider, I reckon. Best role-playing game, you have Bloodborne for 4 Pillars of Eternity, The Witcher 3, and Undertale. Another pretty tough category to pick. I doubt it'll be Fallout 4 or Bloodborne. Pillars of Eternity is actually like the most RPG thing here. Let's get that. Pillars of Eternity. Like, great reviews on Steam. It's an RPG, isometric fantasy, single-player CRPG. As for the others, Undertale, as I mentioned, is fantastic. And The Witcher 3 is also really nice. I reckon if The Witcher 3 wins Game of the Year, it'll probably win Best RPG as well. So yeah, it depends on that. But I could also see Pillars of Eternity and Undertale winning it too. Maybe like 60% to The Witcher and then 20% to those two. Best fighting game. I have no experience with these, but I can tell you guys, it's not gonna be this one because that one sucks. Best family game. Once again, not too much experience here. In fact, I haven't played any of these games. Probably be Skylanders though because everyone loves Skylanders. Or maybe Disney Infinity. I guess it depends on if by family they mean you're playing with your family or if it's just like a cute and cuddly game. Because Splatoon and Mario Maker are more about playing with other people, not your family. So yeah. Best sports and racing game. Oh god. Can I like write? Bracket. Worst video game genre. Kind of there. Rocket League, maybe. Best multiplayer, we have Black Ops 3, Destiny, Halo 5, Rocket League, and Splatoon. I haven't played any of these. Going for my best shooter thing up here is probably going to be Splatoon. Although it could also be Black Ops 3, just because Black Ops 3 has basically refined their multiplayer over the course of 1,000 games. Now we get to the part of it which is the user-picked categories. We have most anticipated game with Horizon Zero Dawn, No Man's Sky, Quantum Break, The Last Guardian, and Uncharted 4. Now just a quick thing. Where is Kingdom Hearts 3, Persona 5, and Final Fantasy 15? Like, those games are easily more anticipated than any of these. So yeah. Anyway, I have no idea what that is. And I wasn't even aware if Uncharted 4 had a release. So I would give this to probably The Last Guardian just because people have been waiting for that game for a very long time. It's a sequel to Shadow of the Colossus. And No Man's Sky looks really cool and people are hyped about, but I think it's been a bit too long since it was first announced. So people are getting kind of, bored that it isn't out yet. Esports Player of the Year, we have Kenny S, Faker, Olaf Meister, PBD, and Sumail. I only know League, so that guy. Looking at this, it's probably not going to be Dota, Because if these are fan chosen, it's probably going to be the ones that have the biggest fan base. And League and Counter-Strike have huge fan bases. To be fair, Faker actually had a fairly mediocre Worlds this year. Like, he played just like you would expect him to play. It wasn't over the top, he didn't carry his team or anything. And SK Telecom, his team, have another mid laner that they use sometimes called Easy Hoon. And he went in for about half of the matches, so it wasn't even Faker all the time. So Faker shouldn't get it. But he might, because it's League. I'll just give it to Kenny S, because why not? Esports Team of the Year, Evil Geniuses, Fnatic, Optic Gaming, SK Telecom, and Team Solar Mid. It's probably going to be TSM, because League once again, and people love TSM. But perhaps also Fnatic could get it, because I think they're more than just League. Like, I think they're in Dota as well, and maybe, like, Counter-Strike? Esports Game of the Year, League, maybe Counter-Strike as well. Trending game, we have Total Biscuit, Christopher Monte Cristo Michaels, Greg Miller. I have no idea who that is. Let's look him up. Markiplier and PewDiePie. Internet celebrity. Wow. I get the feeling I would not like this guy at all. Just, yeah. Currently manages Kinda Funny. I bet it isn't. This category, it should go to TB. Like, let's be fair, TB does the most for the PC community out of any of these. He covers a lot of indie games, he gets some coverage, he gets some sales. He does a lot of, you know, topical issues. He does a lot of charity work and a lot of tournaments and stuff. But if this is, like, chosen by the community, let's be fair, it's probably going to be PewDiePie just because he has the biggest audience. So, yeah. And Best Fan Creation, GTA 5, Real GTA, Portal Stories, Super Mario Maker, and Twitch Plays Dark Souls. I only know about this one. So, yeah. If it's anything like Twitch Plays Pokemon, then it's going to be friggin' impressive because, like, they beat Pokemon on Twitch. They can do the same with Dark Souls. That'd be amazing. So, yeah, I'd probably give it to that one, actually. Unless these ones are really good as well. I don't know anything about them. And that is all the categories, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to post your list down below, then go ahead. I'd love to read them. The sad thing is, going through this, there aren't that many games here which I really enjoyed. Like, let's say Life is Strange. I enjoyed those 3. Those are good. I liked Undertale. And I haven't played Hershow, but I've seen it and I liked it. I liked Axiom Verge. I liked those 2, even though they have problems. And, like, there are all these other ones that I just haven't played yet. Man. Thinking about it, I've played a lot of really, really fantastic games this year that just aren't on here. Like I mentioned, Crypt the Necrodancer, where is that? What's some other good examples? Yeah, I guess it's really about it. Most of the games on my list are all like from last year and shit. Alright, you know what? I'm done with this video. So once again guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.